Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Can somebody please confirm?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, welcome to the session on What After Gate, where today we will be having an interactive session with the students of SPA Delhi. As we have a few more students joining in, we'll wait for another 5 minutes. But before that, all of you, please tell me in the chat box how many of you are from architecture background, how many of you are from the planning background. Quickly. Okay, Biach. Okay. Okay, we have a few from the planning background, more from architecture. Okay, that's nice. And since we are here today for the SPA Delhi session, Uh, do any of you have any idea or thought as to which stream or branch do you want to choose or go for? Anybody, anything specific in mind? Please let us know quickly. Okay. Ambuj wants to pursue BEM, uh, urban planning, environmental planning, urban planning, landscape. Okay, MPM, transport, urban planning, sustainable architecture. Okay. What about others? Quickly, quickly. Urban design, conservation. Okay. So we have a wide variety of students who want to go either for architecture related masters or even planning related masters. That is great. So I think let us begin with our session for today. So today we have for this interactive session with us, we have students who have been a part of Exam Assure. Some of them have been part of different courses. Along with that, what we will be discussing or trying to understand is what is it exactly like when you are pursuing the course? What are the benefits that one might get after completion of the course, etc. So right now, what we will start with is a basic question and answer session with the students who are from SPA Delhi, where I'll be asking a few questions. They will be addressing those. And towards the end of the session, all of you participants can also put forth your questions. Now, before going through that, let us quickly understand what is the course structure or what are the various courses that are offered. So if you see, we can divide the types of courses into four different streams, that is Masters of Architecture, Planning, Design, and Building Engineering and Management. So if you see under Masters of Architecture, we have Conservation, Urban Design and Landscape. You have a Master of Design. Under Master of Design, you have Industrial Design. You have a separate course for BEM, Building Engineering Management. And under planning, we have environmental planning, housing, regional planning, transport planning, and urban planning as well at SPA Delhi. So today we have with us the students. So I'll just quickly introduce all of them and request all of you to also switch on your cameras. So we have Varshini from BEM, we have Sharan from urban design, we have Muskan from housing. We have Aman from transport planning. We have Sami from environment planning. We have Devika and Shreya Singhal from urban planning. Uh, so we welcome all of you. So I think let's begin with the session. Now to start with, uh, I would request all of you to give a brief introduction about yourselves with respect to talking about or sharing about your experience at SPA in the course or the branch that you are pursuing your master's from. So anybody would like to begin? Or Sami, can we go first with you?
Yeah, am I audible?
Okay. Yes.
Very good evening. Myself, Sami Abdullah. So, I am an architect. I am currently pursuing masters in environmental planning. So, I finished my architecture in 2022, and as a fresher, I joined SPA New Delhi after securing a gate rank of 134. So I joined environmental planning as I have already told. As a fresher, I have pursued my GATE AR GATE course here with Exam Assure itself. And basically, there were several reasons as to why I took environmental planning course. So the reason started with a particular subject in my architecture course, a part of landscape, which basically dealt with different scales of landscape. So during an urban scale project, we were dealing with a redevelopment of a supplementary drain, during which I realized how important it is to take care of these aspects while the planning phase, take care of these environmental aspects while the planning phase, because of which I ultimately took forward with this course. Over if I talk about my experience with SPA, so it has been a really great experience. Be it the faculty, be it the course that they follow, their subjects that they have picked up, particularly dividing each different subjects into different semesters. The way in which the first semester they focus on bringing people through different backgrounds on the same page, which is basically a recap of bachelor's of planning for someone from an architecture background coming to a planning background. So the first semester would be a recap of what exactly is planning for anyone who is not used to it, and then following it with each different students going to different branches. For example, me coming to environment, focusing on environment again, starting from the very basics, taking up to in detail again. Environmental planning goes through different scales. So that was my story and my brief experience, and as the question will follow, i will I will be pleased to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Sami. Would anybody else like to address maybe Muskan or Niharika? Yes, Niharika has just joined. She's also from your industrial design department. So welcome, Niharika. Uh, Muskan, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Muskan. Currently, I am pursuing a Masters of Planning in Housing. So basically, I didn't clear GATE, but I still get a admission in SPA Delhi. So for as earlier Sami told about that experience. So yes, for the first semester, basically different departments are combined together, and then we'll just focus on how to make a master plan. It's kind of a master plan only. So we will be working on different group we will be working in different groups, as well as in each department. For example, transportation, housing, we will follow every department what they are doing, EP, etc., etc. And after that, currently I'm in second semester, so my basic focus in how to make the policies in housing, like urban and rural policies, and to examine the and evaluation of the PMAY scheme, as we know that 2.0 may be coming. So we are just working on that. And after that we are currently and after that we are working for the Varanasi housing, ki how they are Varanasi can be developed, and what are the benefits in future, the strategies for the housing, what Varanasi can develop in next 2034. And these are some of the things that we'll do housing. And in housing also we'll work on how important the land subject is, and how to evaluate, and how to do housing finance. For example, what HUDCO does, what NHP does. So these are the basic criteria that we follow during the housing semester.
Thank you, Muskan. Niharika, would you like to go next?
Hi everyone. I am in second semester of industrial design right now. So about the interview process, it's quite the same like everyone told. So I gave my seed exam, but not to like demotivate anyone. even if you've not given any exam and you just go for the interview or you apply there, I think you still can get in. Like we have like 3-4 students who have not given any exam. The only benefit of giving the exam, I think, is getting the scholarship there, which you get like a monthly stipend because of the exam. But otherwise also you can get into SPA. Particularly for my course, the interview process is basically you'll go through an exam and then they'll take an interview of yours, and everyone's like my faculty basically is very sweet, so they were very helpful while taking the interview also. So that's the interview process. And about industrial design, again, very helpful, very coherent course, and they teach you everything. I would also like to clarify, like if someone's applying into UX UI, ultimately the jobs that you get are into UX UI, but in the course itself, I think you go through a lot of product design, but it's like a mixture of both the product design and UX UI. So anyone that who wants to like go into these two fields should come into industrial design. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. Sharan, would you like to talk a bit about urban design?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone, I'm Sharan Chatterjee. I did my GATE classes from Exam Assure itself. Then, after clearing GATE, I took admission in Masters in Urban Design at SPA Delhi. So, obviously, SPA Delhi was the first choice, as it is for most of us. And taking admission in urban design, I chose urban design because quite similar in bachelor's. Urban Design Studio was a major point when I decided. I got introduced to this course and then thesis and things. So that's why I chose urban design. Course is as told, the syllabus and structuring is great. Great as in there's a notion that SPA goes on practical approach, whereas SEPT goes on more of research work. But if we see our course structure, we have both. Like we have a specific subject called seminar that is there for all the 4 semesters, which is specifically based on research work. And even other subjects also have research components along with the main studio majorly focuses on practical approaches and things. So yes, so this is the best place for anyone to do masters in urban design. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sharan. That was a very detailed, good explanation where maybe somebody who's confused between SP and SEPT would get a bit of clarity as well. Yes, Shreya, would you like to go next? Discuss about urban planning?
Sure. Hello everyone, my name is Shreya Singhal. I'm an architect and an urban planner. So I did my master's in urban planning from SPA Delhi, and I got in through the GATE rank. I was a GATE Scholar of 2021, and post which I got in admission into 2021. So basically, I opted for urban planning because it is an umbrella branch wherein you get exposed to all the branches, like not just in terms of the first semester, which is an integrated semester comprising of all the branches together, but also in other semesters you are for instance, we are introduced to various plans. Like in first semester it's outline development plan, then in second semester it's zonal plans and master plan, in third semester it's infrastructure development plan, and fourth is finally your thesis semester. So in all those level of plans.
Okay, we'll address all the questions towards the end.
Sure.
All the participant questions we'll be addressing towards the end. Yes, please continue, Shreya.
Yeah, so I was saying that in like in all the semesters for a core urban planning perspective is that you get introduced to all the subsectors. For instance, even if you're working on infrastructure development plan, let's say, then some of us are divided into transportation, some of us are divided into demography, and like there are various sub parameters within the urban planning that we work in every semester, so that we all are introduced to each other's works and we work on the development of the plan of a particular city. In each case we take a in each semester we take a different city and then we work on it, and then we look at it not just from, like, let's say, a transportation lens or an environmental lens, but all of it to club together and then put into one holistic plan. So that is one key feature of urban planning. And the reason why I shifted from architecture to, let's say, planning, because I was interested in a larger domain work on sustainable development and infrastructure development of the city. So I wanted to know things on a larger scale, on a city level scale. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shreya. We'll go next to Varshini, who'll be talking about BEM.
Hello, hi, my name is Varshini, and I finished my architecture from Chennai, and I started in SPAD after 2 years of experience, and I got my gate uh, coaching from Exam Assure. So basically, BM is basically the other side of architecture, where you get to experience the time scheduling, the on-site work, and the execution part of the architecture. So basically, people here come from management, where the first semester is usually about time. The second semester is usually about the cost, and third is about procurement and quality management. And fourth year is basically your thesis, where you do whatever you like and you start your work on the management part, which interests you the most. So for coming into SPA, I don't think you need any gate score. Around 10 people in our class are freshers. And people think for management course you need experience, but here in SPA you don't need experience. And later on stages, there's a thing where you get placements also in SPA for the BM course, which is really great. And yeah, that is it for BM.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Varshini.
if you have more questions, you can ask me. Yeah.
Yes, we'll be taking a few more questions. We'll finish with Devika, who's again going to be talking about urban planning. Yes, Devika, can you hear me? Yes.
I could hear you. So, hi guys, I'm Devika. I'm in second year. I'm doing urban planning here in SPA Delhi. So here we have a wonderful faculty. We have a lot of in-house faculties and a lot of visiting faculties also. So along with academy, like each semester we are going to different cities, learning about the various aspects of the cities. We are preparing, like in first semester we prepared an outline development plan. In second semester we prepared a master plan. So and then on the third semester we are preparing like DPRs. So we are involved in different also there are also subsectors in while preparing the plan. So we are involved in all of those things. And along with it, we'll make videos, we'll have discussions with the various officials. We every semester we'll go for a 2 week site visit. So overall it was a great journey. And along with it, we have like in urban only in urban planning, along with the third semester we have a subject called TRS, like thesis research seminar. So for in IITs and all, it's a 1 year thing. So thesis is a 1 year thing, but we are doing it like along with the studio. We have TRS. We will study our topic, and along with it, if you want, you can write research papers. The faculties will really help you in those areas also. And now I'm doing my thesis, and the faculties are really good. Along with it, you'll have a good opportunity. Like we have between first year and second year, we have 2 month break, so you can do your internship also. The faculties, we have a very good placement team, and the faculties also have lot of contacts. So that is also a very good opportunity compared to other colleges. So here, I have no regrets. Like overall, till now, it was a great journey. So if you have any doubts regarding urban planning, like you can ask me. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Devika. So just a request to all the participants, keep your questions towards the end of the session. So we'll be addressing all the questions, so don't worry about that. Okay, moving on to my next question. You guys tell me that how is the course different from what you had probably imagined while joining the course? Is it something different or is it exactly the same what you had in your mind? And also just discuss about the career after pursuing the particular course that you are in. So I think let's start with Devika only.
Yes. So usually the question which comes is like, what's the difference between urban design and urban planning? And students are always confused, like which to take. So in the beginning, I have a clear idea because I have a work experience. Like I work both in urban design projects and also urban planning projects. So I had a clear idea, and sorry, one minute. And yeah, so
You were
after
talking about urban design and planning.
yes, so urban design, it's related to more of designing like the streets, like how the building should be, like that. So urban planning, it's more on a city level. So like it's more related to rules and regulations and giving proposals on a city scale. And I always had this doubt, like which is good? Is it NITs or IITs or SPS? Which is good more for urban planning? And actually, in SPA, urban planning department is the oldest planning department here, and SPA is one of the best institute for planning. And what I felt was IITs and NITs are more into the technical part, not more into research, more into planning part. And it is like institute of national importance also. So I had a lot of expectations before coming here, and after joining here, um, all the expectations are covered. Like we have a very good um, bunch of faculties who has a lot of experience, so it was fine. Then coming to internship, we internship and placement, we have a very good placement team, and most of our seniors got placed in IAFL, EY, then Rise and all. And now also the placement team is working on. I'm part of the placement team, and during internship time also, like 2-3 students didn't want to do internship, but those who want to do internship, the placement team were working a lot and they were placed. And I did my internship in IP, and now also students are getting placed, and it's a good opportunity. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Devika. We'll go with Aman. Aman, please let the participants know a bit about transport planning. How is the course and what is the scope after completing the course for their career? Aman, your voice is not clear. Just
Hello.
yes, it's audible now.
I'm out with my friend, so I'll not be able to speak for now.
Okay, okay, fine. We'll move on to Muskan.
Okay. So while choosing housing, so basically housing is about designing some unit area plans for the apartment. This was what I thought while I went to the department. But now after coming to the second semester, there's a lot of difference what I expect in that for 1 year ago. Like for example, coming to the subject wise, so they are the policies, urban and rural policies. So basically urban and rural policies. So we are working on how the government is doing. For example, the SPA comes under MHUA. So basically, how MHUA is doing in the in the housing field. And even for the construction also, there's nothing for the construction VMTPC that works for the construction of PMAY or housing in all over India. So that focuses on that urban land management. How even not about that Delhi also, we are learning and working for different states. For example, for land management, we are learning about the TP schemes Gujarat, Varanasi. What are the different programs or what are the different schemes that different states have implemented? So we are just learning and we are evaluating different states, the comparison ki what we can do further. And after that, for the coming 2.0 PMAY, as I told earlier as well, so we are working, after that we will be working on that ki what policies or what PMAY, is it successful or not? Firstly was that, and after that ki what other options the government can do, or what other policies government can do for slums, for squatters, even for the, even not for only that focuses on the different income groups as well, and caters different LIG, EWS, and what can be done, what is wrong, what is right in the policies as well. So this is what I am currently doing at in the second semester, and learning about my and third semester. So that in that we are working on some of the housing formulation and finance, a basic project ki how the builder in real estate market, how the builder works, how the developer works, and how to deal with the developers. This is what we'll do in the next. And to the faculties, we are having a very good faculties. And for the placement, like last year my seniors got placed in IIFL, and currently some of the have placed in EY and one or two others, and the process is going on. And coming to the internship, so my half of the class have got placed for the internship for the DDA, MAHUA, and TCPOs. This is what till now we have.
Okay. Thank you, Muskan. Moving on with the same question to Niharika.
Hi. So answering the question, how is the course same than what you different than what you expected? I think I initially wanted to go into UX UI, not industrial design or product design per se, but then I found out that industrial design also kind of have a mixture of both. So I would actually suggest to people who are looking for UX UI to do like a product design course, which SPA offers. So industrial design basically is you can do both industrial design, because then your pathway opens in like both ways. You can go into product industrial or into UX UI. Because it's basically the same. You get to learn about like user interaction, user experience in both of the places. So I wouldn't say it was different, because you still learn the same strategies, that is the user experience or the user interaction. So either you're designing a product, or you're designing an app, or you're designing an interface, it's all the same. So, and the faculties also encourage you to design for like UX UI, but ultimately I would also say that you have to have a tangible product in SPA for like academic basis. But ultimately the jobs are offered in both. The placements, basically coming to the placements thing, so most of our seniors are placed again, previous to previous batch. Placements are great, uh, and most of them don't even have any experience. Like I'm 27 now, and I have 3 years of experience. The opportunities are great for me in SPA, but even for the people who do not have any experience and have come just from UG to masters, they also got placed with almost the same package. So it doesn't matter if you have experience or not in industrial design, you will get a great placement here, and you can choose for yourself if you want to go into UX UI or into product. Product placement, I would say, is a little bit less than UX UI placement. That's just because of the market, not because of SPA. My department ultimately tries to like give you the best placement that there is. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. You've given us a great insight into the course. Moving on to Sami, please, would you answer the same question?
Yes, so starting with how the course was different from what I personally expected. So I, having gone through the details of the course, was expecting exactly what it is being offered in SPA. But most of the students who are actually coming from the same background as mine, that is of architecture, actually sometimes tend to confuse it with sustainable architecture, because sustainable architecture in environmental planning, you will not. It is not basically based on design as we architects know it. It is based on policy making. It is based on. It is more urban planning oriented. That is more towards the policies. You will be reading a lot of documents. You'll be reading a lot of notions on an international, on the national level. You'll be reading about climate change and all. And in fact, whereas sustainable architecture talks about a scale which is a lot smaller as compared to environmental planning. So whoever is moving his thinking to go towards a sustainable in sustainable field should be clear in mind whether they need to take environmental planning or they need to go for sustainable architecture, for which the courses, the detailed courses, they can find on the SV websites, or they can contact the seniors of each individual branches. If I talk about the placements or the opportunities after completing this environmental planning, so environmental planners, first of all, what exactly environmental planners do? Environmental planners now do the job of both the job of planners as well as the job of architects. That is, it goes through different scales. In fact, sustainable architecture is a very small portion which gets included in environmental planning itself. So, like urban planners, which basically deal with the development of existing or new development of land parcels, large land parcels, architect or urban environmental planners basically deal with how considerable consideration can be given to the natural environment so that sustainable outcomes can be derived from such forms of development. So we'll be looking at air environment, for example, the pollution components, the PM levels, and how the PM levels change over space. What are the factors? We'll be looking at the water environment. We'll be looking at the air environment, the land environment. We'll be looking at the biotic, abiotic environment, and so on. So similarly, given the studies, what I've seen based on my internships is that the course is highly oriented to what is basically expected on the field. And in the fields, the job can be divided again into two very different parts. So you can either work in different NGOs like CSE, the Center for Science and Environment, which works towards research, collection and analysis of different environmental forms of data on a national scale under the government of India, or in many different NGOs, or you can work for directly work under multinational corporates, which basically work towards environmental auditing. So environmental auditing can again be done on two different scales: either project-based environmental auditing, as we know, with the climate change, the large projects require environmental auditing and environment impact assessment, which is now a compulsion and is gaining more and more importance. So environmental planners have the job to perform these environment impact assessments, assessing how the particular project can impact the environment in the near future and during the construction. And also, this impact and assessment is also done on a policy level, which is known as strategic impact assessment, strategic environment assessment. Which is done for new policies, because new policies, if they are not sensitive to the environment, can be catastrophic in nature. So, and therefore, the job opportunities are also of different scales depending upon where you exactly want to go to. Me personally, I'm more oriented towards the impact assessment domain only, which is project based environment impact assessment. That was it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. You've given us a very clear, detailed description and an understanding and insight into what actually goes on in the course and after you've completed the course during placement, let's say, especially the job perspective. So thank you for that. We'll move on to Sharan.
Yeah. So I'll start with the course expectation. So everyone has a basic idea of how urban design works from the bachelor's itself. So things that were surprise, which I did not expect were there are two components. One is there's a lab that happens in all the four semesters, which is urban form lab. which gradually increases in terms of scale. For example, while I was in last semester, in first semester, it was the urban form lab basically dealt with determinants that shapes uh, forms of cities and things. Now we are in which we were studying or analyzing the impact of different climatic components on the shape and vice versa. This semester we are doing something else. So this is one thing which happens, which I did not expect it. Another is seminar, which I already told. So there's a specific subject in the very first semester, which is research method, that which goes through all the theoretical part of research, how it is done and things. And then on, in every semester, there is a seminar. For example, in first semester, it was on cities, how cities are formed. So basically, we were divided into teams, and we had to work. We had to research on how different cities formed and what are their current status or things. Similarly, in this semester, we have something else. We are working on different water systems along Delhi, and this happens for all the 4 semesters. Secondly, if we talk about the faculties, there are 4 permanent faculties, and for a batch of 25 students in urban design, there are 21 visiting faculties, and uh, and they are one of the best. Why I'm saying this? Because Delhi is the place where most of the creamy layer of all the professionals are there, and SPA ensures that they bring most of them and make them interact with students. This happens in all the departments. So I wanted to highlight this teacher-student ratio once. Also, if we talk about what are the okay, even after so urban design, we have several prospects or avenues we can go for after graduating. So some of us join. We have our seniors at Atkins and Jacobs kind of environment, MNC environment. Also, they some prefer to join a studio environment like INA Design Studio and UDRI, and few directly goes for research also. So yes, this is the overall idea.
Thank you, Sharan. We'll move on with Shreya, taking up the same question.
Hi. So yeah, regarding the course expectation, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you're audible.
Regarding the course expectation, while I was doing my architecture, I used to see my planning counterparts, and they used to be not that like a little less rigorous than architecture was. So what I thought that it wouldn't be that hard or that hard as architecture in terms of how rigorous it is. But to my surprise, it is much more rigorous than architecture itself, because it takes a whole lot of, like, what people don't address is it takes a whole lot of group work, and you have to be compatible with, because it is essentially a group work. Even when you go on to the field, it is a group work, because you're talking about the whole city, right? So you need to talk to various stakeholders eventually, and all of those things, and manage them. So it is a very important skill that I think you get to learn through the course of 4 semesters, wherein you learn the teamwork and how to accommodate everyone's opinions and make a comprehensive plan out of it. So it is a task in itself, but it was a great learning experience, and something that I really appreciate in hindsight now. And regarding uh, regarding the faculty members, they are amazing. They are so basically, like people said, the visiting faculty. Sorry, my battery is. The visiting faculty, they are really great, because they are from not the academia necessarily, but they are from the field, like retired senior professionals from TCPO, from DDA, from various, like the chief town planners, and a lot of people come and they bring in their expertise in from their respective fields. So it's a great learning experience, and then you make further contacts with them, and they help in your thesis also, so you can approach them whenever you want. So it's a very friendly atmosphere. a very rigorous one, so you have to be prepared for that. But in the end, it will all really help you. And regarding the future prospects of my branch, so one key aspect of it is that you can really venture into any other branch. If you, for instance, if my thesis is slightly related to environment planning, I can always venture into that domain. So and not vice versa. So that is a good quality about urban planning, is that if you're unsure, like if you're not specific that should I take transport planning or should I take environment or any other, so that is a like I told, that it's an umbrella branch. So you can like really go into any further expertise. Let's say you want to do a PhD later on, so you know, like your base is ready. And again, you have many avenues like government sector, private sector. So there are many government opportunities also that are there right now. And in terms of private firms also, you have your MNCs where you get to work on the advisory and infrastructure advisory, development advisory, and whatnot. So real estate is a good option for that also. And second is there are many think tanks like WRI, and wherein you get to and CEW and all of that, and wherein you get to really if you're interested in research later on, these all are really great platforms wherein you get to work with other stakeholders also, because they keep on organizing those workshops, etc. So it's a very engaging atmosphere. So it's a good cause if you want to pursue that. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya, for letting us know about the different career scopes also after pursuing the course. So thank you for that. We'll move on to Varshini regarding the same question for BEM.
Hello, hi. So the thing is that the BM is slightly different from all the courses that are there in SPA. So it is basically a management course along with construction. Along with management, you get to learn a lot about structural design, the construction, various techniques that are there in the field. So you start with in the first session itself, first semester, you get to learn more about the structural systems, the geography. So in order to execute things on site, uh, uh, in order to execute things on site, you may need a little more understanding about the geography of the site, the soil structure, the structural system that is being used in the construction process. In order, so in the project management course, you will be assessing all these things. So in order to know these to assess, you have to understand the basic core of whatever is happening behind in the construction process. So one of the major things is that it is not basically about design. It is about execution of the design, which comes in later stages after the usually. So most of the people here are architects or planners. So the execution comes in the later portion of the uh, design process. So in order to know that, you might need to study a little about structures. I guess a lot of architects do not like structures, but I think they have the faculties here are very experienced to teach us that. You may not get overwhelmed because of these things, because I know not everyone likes things about structures. They don't want to do math and all. It's not, it's just about the concept and not mostly about the maths behind it. And in order to understand these, you need to know a basic understand. You have to have a basic understanding of what happens in the concrete, or what are the components that are there. And one of the additional things is that you need to learn a lot of codes. You'll be asked to check codes for. There are several codes for concrete. I guess you guys know it. So there are codes for concrete, for steel. So it is just for the reference. And in future stages, if you are going to become a project manager, you need to know these things. And yeah, the education parts come to this. And You also have a project scheduling studio along with these construction teachings, because that is the main portion. Here we don't use AutoCAD or Revit like we use it for the designing that we use in architecture. Here it is mostly about Excel and a few MS projects which are taught here in SPA. It is mostly self-learning, but they do give a prior introduction about all these softwares. It is different from what we usually do in architecture. So there might be a change if you're considering pursuing this. But the flow is easy because the staff here are really experienced, and I don't feel overwhelmed because I know what I got into. So if you're interested in later stages of designing, I think it will be a really useful course. And coming to the faculties, here we have faculties for structures. We have faculties who are already a part of who were already a part of BEM and who have experience on site and who are already project managers. When coming to the working portion of it in later stages, there are companies that are like Cushman Colliers and CBRE. All these companies that are there, which deal with project management, risk management, and financial management. So yeah, that is about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Varshini, for giving us that clarity and insight also. And probably a few participants must be relieved regarding the issue that you addressed for structures, because yes, as architects, a lot of us don't like or are scared of structures and the calculations. So thank you for that. You also mentioned about a few softwares. So with that, I'll move on to my next question. That for your respective courses, for all of you, is there any prerequisites or any skill sets that one must know before joining the particular course? Or is it helpful that if I know a particular skill set or some software or whatever, is that going to help me in the interview as well? So, Varshini, we'll begin with you only.
Yeah. So basically, there is no prerequisite to knowing a particular software because we are learning here right now. I'm in my first year. I'm currently in my second semester. So we are currently learning Revit, but the Revit that we use is not for the designing part. It is for the quantity takeoff, which is basically how much quantity is there for there is in the structure. So it is not basically the designing. So there is no prerequisite that is there for joining BEM. You will learn while you're learning. So yeah.
And so it would not really affect my interview as well if I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
a particular.
Uh, yeah, in the interview, it is basically about your interest, and they may ask you a few questions that are overwhelming, but if there is a mistake, I think you can say ki, this is my mistake. I don't think I know that, and you can move on. There is no prerequisite on software that it is not affecting your interview. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Varshini. Shreya, we'll move on to you with the same question.
Um, Regarding knowing the software, as she mentioned, you have to learn it on the go. And just a moment. Yeah. So it's not a prerequisite, like she said. You learn it with the semester. So basically, for specifically for urban planning, you need to learn GIS. Matlab, it's not required for the interview or anything, but as the semester progress, you get to learn along with your colleagues. So it's not a big thing, but it will be good if you learn it for your future prospects, like over the 4 semesters. So it's fine if you don't know it initially.
Okay. And is there any particular skill set, maybe let's say technical we've addressed, right, in terms of software, any other skill set like soft skills or anything which would be helpful for the course or throughout the
Um,
course?
yeah. Like I mentioned, teamwork. Like you, for instance, in architecture, there is so much of like there are group assignments as well, but there's so much of us. Like it's our project and it's our thesis and it's our that. But in here, you've got to be prepared for teamwork. Like I think I can say it for other branches as well. Maybe not all, but some of them. Specifically for urban planning, there are going to be a lot of group work. So you've got to be really prepared for that. And I think it helps you even on later on when you join any office for that matter. So I think that would be one of the soft skill I think that is necessary for this. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Thank you, Shreya. Sharan, we'll move on to you.
Yeah. So there's no specific requirement for such skill set requirement for interview, but there are several soft skills that I would like to discuss. As already discussed, all the 3 semesters in majority of all the courses and even in my courses are group work. So you need to know how to work in group, and at times group work are more hectic than individual work. So you need to have a lot of you understand coordination with others. One. Secondly, you need to know how you do your work efficiently. For example, now comes softwares. You can prepare a sheet in Photoshop, whereas you can do the same in InDesign. But there's a lot of difference in terms of effort when you do it in InDesign. So this kind of softwares you should know. Matlab, eventually everyone knows, but so you need to be updated in such things. But there is no specific matlab, kind of requirement for interview. Also, for urban design, especially, you need to have a very good observation. You need observation skill. You need to have very good analytical skill. For example, most of our first semester we were like struggling to understand what are the issues of the. For example, our main studio was around different locations of Delhi. So our work was to go observe and map all tangible and intangible things. So it is a major skill set that you require. First is how you observe a society, you analyze what are the issues and how to deal with them, and third, how to map intangible things on sheets. So these are the few prerequisites.
Okay. Thank you, Sharan, for talking about the other soft skills like your analytical abilities and also developing the patience that is required for group work. We'll move on to Sami.
Hello. Yes. So I think my reply would be similar to what others replied, that while environmental planning is extremely GIS intensive, and without the knowledge of which you will not be able to move forward, but that will happen once you're in third or fourth, third semester, or during your thesis, of course in second semester as well. But during your interviews, of course, it will be a plus point if you say that you have a small experience of using GIS. That could be the case for geographers, but it will absolutely not be expected from you to learn GIS in advance, because there will be an entire, or rather two entire studios which will be dedicated to teach the software and its applications in environmental planning over the course. As far as other soft skills are considered, then I think in environmental planning, having lesser strength and absolutely equal amount of work as compared to other branches, time management is something that must be taken care of, because um, looking at other branches and comparing the difficulties and the courses for a batch which is that small, and the design problem or a for a study area which covers through different regions. If proper time management with different reviews is not being done, then it becomes very difficult to handle the problem. So time management would be at the top.
Yeah, a very important point I think you mentioned, that is time management for sure. Um, Niharika, we'll move on to you.
Hi again. So for industrial planning, I think again I would like agree to others. I don't think there's any software that you need to learn before, because again, all the branches that are a diversion from architecture, I don't think SPA expects anyone to learn any software that is not a part of architecture. So even if you don't learn any of the softwares and you just come with your architecture portfolio, I think they will judge you based on that. And then we have a lot of studios and a lot of classes on what you need for a particular background or for a particular career to learn in those studios. Moving on to but again, like I like to mention, like Rhino, Procreate, and AI. So AI is a big thing right now. So if you have a prior knowledge of that, obviously that will help you in the course. But in an interview, in the interview that you're giving in SPA, I don't think they judge you based on that. Then of course, in product design, in industrial design, you should observe a lot. Until and unless you observe a lot and you identify what problems users have, I don't think you can design a good product. So observation as a soft skill is a very, very qualitative quality that you need to have. You should observe very little things. For example, a mouse, a keyboard, or like the mixer grinder your mother uses. So all of that will really help you in industrial design. And time management, again, SPA as a whole has a lot of assignments for you to do. So time management is very, very important. I wouldn't compare it to architecture. I personally feel it's easier than architecture, but still, because it's masters, I think they expect a little bit of more than UG. So you need to have a little bit of time management. You need to complete your assignments on time. And so my faculty, I will tell you a fun fact. My faculty used to tell me, and still they tell us this, that the day that you are given an assignment, you complete it on that day. If you just keep if you like procrastinate on it, you will not get time to complete it. So like, yeah, time management is the most important in SPA. Thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. You've really addressed your observation, the point you mentioned about observation skills. I think that's also very, very important, especially for industrial design, I suppose. So that is one good point. We'll move on with Muskan.
Okay, so for the interview, there are no such any requirements for the softwares, but yes, as per the time, like as per the requirement according to the subjects, so we have to learn GIS. But actually, for the planning department, it's necessary to learn GIS. We used to do all the work mapping and everything on the GIS only, and side by side, we are learning Auto Civil 3D. That is the Autodesk. So we are learning that as well. That is similar to GIS only. So we are learning these two softwares for, and there is no such requirement. Only they'll ask in the interview the basic questions, or there is some research or any publication of paper, or either the semester, during the semester you did something for the housing, particularly for the housing. So they'll ask the questions according to that only. Yes, they'll ask what are the skills that you should be knowing. Apart from that, you have to be very like accurate about the things, the submissions, the timings, because for there are we have to very many assignments according, and there is very less deadline for the submissions as well for every assignment. So you have to be very particular, have to manage the time for the social life as well, and even for the academic life as
Thank you, Muskan. We'll move on to Devika with the same question.
Okay, so just like AutoCAD we use for architecture, for urban planning it is the softwares like QGIS, ArcGIS and all. But it's not a prerequisite. Like along the journey you learn it, and also if you know the basics of Excel, it will be good. And except for thesis, all other semester we are having group work. So you need soft skills like good teamwork, collaborating with the team and all. And you need good presentation skills also, because we'll be explaining. We should know how to explain our sheets and all. And before coming, like we have the knowledge as architect, we have the knowledge of Photoshop, no? So I'll be preparing my sheets in Photoshop. But here they prefer PowerPoint. So I learned PowerPoint. It is much easier to make sheets in PowerPoint. Then another thing is, if you are a research, if you are a gate scholar, you'll get gate work also along with the studio work and the other theory assignments. So management, we have to do it. Then while going for site visit, we have to take surveys. If you are in transportation group, you have to take TVC, origin destination surveys and all. Then household surveys. So you have to be active. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Devika. So just to summarize this question of mine, I think all of you have mentioned the important points, like let's say firstly the technical skills in terms of softwares or surveys, and coming to the other soft skills like observation, time management, patience, analytical abilities, presentation skills, which I feel are not only important at the college level but way ahead in your life also. So that is one important thing. uh, Taking ahead from here, I would also like to ask you all that how do you think has your life changed, or how do you think SPA Delhi has shaped you professionally as well as personally? So Devika, we begin with you. What has been your observation, let's say, or understanding as to how it has helped you shape yourself, both ways, personal and professionally?
Yes, so this is my first time to north of India, so studying this far from home and all. So here it's a mix of culture. Like students from all parts of India will come here to study, and here we celebrate also the different cultures, the different festivals. So um, that was like that was a big change for me, because understanding the different cultures, different people, the different languages and all, it's a good exposure. And another thing is, so in my first semester, there was faculties who worked at DDA, who has a lot of experience, faculties who are retired but still coming. So you will get, and while teaching, taking class, they will share the experience also while like, studying in different departments, while working in different departments. So professionally also we'll get to know, and also we have a good communication with the seniors, and we have a lot of special lectures. So and there are a lot of workshops like recently only urban planning department has conducted a workshop on AI in data management, and we are up to date. Like and we are taught about AI and machine learning. So it is in other institute, I feel there will be a gap between what you're studying in college and when you come to the professional side, when you come to job, there can be a gap. After joining the job only, you realize, oh, you need to learn these things and all. But in SPA, it's not like that. The whole college is really up to date. Like uh, they'll teach you a lot. And personally, other than that, yes, you'll get a lot of contacts. Then and what? Yeah, that's it. And conference also, like you'll get to present your work at various platforms. So and the faculties are really supportive, and so it will increase your confidence level, your presentation skills, and we'll be presenting our work at like the visiting faculties and all, and they are working in different fields. There are still faculties coming who are practicing, so you'll get their point of view also. So it was a good journey.
Yeah. Thank you, Devika. Very insightful. Muskan, we'll move on to you with the same question.
Okay, so firstly, the change that I got, that is a good communication skills actually, because we have to present our work every week due to that less deadline, and to there's a very good communication skills and the teamwork to coordinate with actually to coordinate with different backgrounds, because as she said earlier, there are different cultures in our housing department also, so we have to participate and work together with that coordination. So that is very important, and that is even difficult as well. Then to balance a social and academic life, that pressure to complete and submit it on time, and that is also, and the change in the perspective of different fields. Like for me thinking at why I choose housing. So now I know that why did I choose housing, why I don't opt through a transport planning or any other department, and to get a good exposure on different projects and even on the government departments as well. Because we have the faculties of different backgrounds from BMPTC, MOA, DDA. So we know ki what this department does that. So this is what we are getting a good exposure.
Thank you, Muskan. Niharika, what is your take on that? Okay, we'll move on to Sami and then come back to Niharika.
I think my answer would be almost exact replica of Muskan's answer. That is, basically in every field, it is very important to present or rather sell yourself, and SPA will absolutely make sure that you are doing it right, with repeated reviews, and reviews which are really focused on not just that you are doing the work right, but also that you are presenting it the way that it should be presented is very important. So, in general, first of all, in order to explain something properly, you need to have a proper grasp of that piece of knowledge yourself. If for the question that how it the college shaped me would be that before I move forward, before like explaining anything to anyone, I have to make sure that I am getting the concept exactly correct. So before facing anyone else regarding any possible kind of topic, not just the topics which are related to your field. So I think that's the key takeaway as to how the college has changed me and how it was different from architecture per se, because we're just in architecture, we're just simply explaining what went into that design, or our feelings, or what our thought process was. Whereas in the case of planning, it is in the case of in general presenting, it would be a lot more.
Uh, Thank you, Sami. That was quite helpful. Sharan?
Yeah, most of the points are already covered. So obviously, one is the communication skills. You have multiple reviews every week that happens. So initially, everyone has the inertia where they are hesitant for reviews and things. That would go off in very first 2 weeks and things. You would be much more confident, as well as we have got into an habit where we do a lot of homework as in we go through all the things very specifically before we go for the jury. That is one. Secondly, all the three things, components, which is the theory, research and practical approach, hand in hand here. So you have initially in bachelor's, most of the time things happen does not happen in this way. Theory teaches us something else, whereas during internships and things we get to know a different world, but over here there is nothing such. So theory, research and practical approach, everything works together. For example, most since we are gate scholars, we are also sent for as field staff for departmental consultancy projects also. Like I was being sent to Jodhpur for one such project, which was totally a practical work, which is now being processed to be implicated on site. As well as we are doing in different subjects, there are research components also. This is one thing that we now see all these things in a combined manner. Time management, obviously. So these are the major takeaways.
Thank you, Sharan. Shreya?
Yeah, like they all mentioned, I think you do learn good interpersonal communication skills, number one, because every week you have juries, I mean, reviews, and then final jury, internal juries, and whatnot. So it's a rigorous process. But you also get an in-depth understanding of the matter. For instance, you had a broader level understanding of how the city works and what are the issues, but you really observe and analyze what are the critical issues and what are the interventions that could be done, like not just in terms of your academic exercise, but also like if you go through a city, you can possibly suggest changes, and like you have an in-depth understanding that you get through the course, and which is really helpful. by analyzing and getting to know, like that too from a pool of such incredible talented faculty, both the faculty in the in-house faculty and the visiting faculty. So I think you do get a lot of exposure in terms of learning and the contact as well.
Thank you, Shreya. Varshini?
Mm, Yeah, so one of the things in BM is that you get to work along with a live site, which is that the first thing is that in studio you are expected to work in groups, and you are supposed to bring a site, which means bring a project which is under construction, which is maybe in near and around Delhi. So this may be one of the things that you are supposed to do in your first semester, where you compare the things that are going on site. So it is a very interactive learning where you compare what is going on site and your results on the project. So yeah, like everyone said, it is also a group project. So you are supposed to have those skills where maybe if somebody is not working, or you have to collaborate with them and work together. So yeah, that is one of those things.
Okay. Thank you, Varshini. Niharika?
Hi. Yeah. Referencing to what others said, in product design, industrial design, not much group work, because as you can imagine, you transfer from like a very big thing like architecture to a very small thing, which is a product. So not much group work. You generally have to do it alone. One thing, but the faculties are very experienced, knowledgeable, both the visiting faculties and the fixed faculties. So there is no plagiarism allowed at all. Like you cannot copy. They will quickly recognize if you have copied anything. Then you have to give references of everything that you're representing as a research, anything as your background. So it's like very thorough. Like in these 2 years that you will study industrial design here, you will have a very thorough background for your job. Then how the college shaped me is all like all of us are basically like in my batch, like we are 23 people, and 20 people of us are from architecture, and the rest three are engineering people. So all of us have basically no knowledge of product or industrial design. So they teach you everything like in studio, in class. So they really shape you in class. It's like they don't spoon feed you, but they also like encourage you and guide you a lot. And then on the soft skills, I would like to say, like, you really need to back up your presentation with research. There needs to be a lot of research on your presentation, and the presentation needs to be really solid, because again, you're transferring from a very big thing to a very small thing. So it takes like basically no effort from compared to your UG. So you really need to like brace up yourself and like back up your research. And I would also like to point out that there's a language barrier. If you're from Delhi, if you know English, it's all good. But if you're from any other region, like I have some Marathi, Bengali, and other people in my class where they feel like there's a language barrier between faculties and us. So I think if your English is good, you're fine. But if any other language or Hindi that you're speaking in, I think there's a language barrier to create in. So your presentation skills need to be in English and really well. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Niharika. So just to summarize this question, I think yes, it does. The institutes does shape you personally as well as in your professional life. With respect to personal life, like all of you mentioned, it boosts your confidence. Um, Plus, you're meeting people from all across India, so which is great. You learn a lot from all kinds of people, which is really good, which will help you again develop yourself. Communication skills, which are very, very important again for your life, even beyond college. Plus, I assume even your thinking perspective might have really changed or shaped for the better after interacting with, let's say, your faculties or your peers from all across India. And professionally, if I have to summarize, I think yes, the institute is really updated with the market trends. So that keeps you really updated with what's going on in the market. Networking, like somebody mentioned, one of you mentioned, very, very important for your professional life ahead. And learning to sell your work, which we are usually, I would say, not taught maybe in architecture or otherwise in life. It's like we are told, Are, don't show off or don't talk too much about, I'm doing this, that. So, which I think is needs to be changed. So, selling your work, again, the course or the institute is shaping you towards that. And yes, being always being very well prepared, which is again very, very important for your professional life. So, I think that is very good. Moving on to the next question. Now, some of you, for some of your branches, uh, let's say, for example, the planning branch, architects or geographers or civil engineers are allowed to take admission to the planning courses as well, or let's say for BEM, or like Niharika mentioned, even for industrial design. People from backgrounds other than architecture are also um, joining the course. So how is it different for uh, let's say uh, let's say Shreya or Sami, who have done their bachelor's in architecture and then moved on to planning? How do you think, is it different for you? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Or how does it help? So Sami, we'd begin with you.
So it's definitely not at all easy moving from a design-based environment to an environment which really incorporates a lot more than just design. But again, yet again, as I've already stated in two different answers, that the course has been designed in such a way that for the first semester, that is the integrated semester, that the students are they make sure that the students are on the same page. So the design, I'll basically explain what the first semester incorporates. The first semester incorporates everything. So there are three different exercises during the first semester, which starts with area appreciation, which basically includes a particular society or a particular colony of a Delhi is taken for a group of students and given the aspects of a master plan. So the different aspects of that colony needs to be explained by the students over a course of 3 weeks. Similarly, the next exercise is a combination of both design as well as planning, which is basically site planning. So society is planned by different groups, which is finally followed by an ODP or an outline development plan. So an outline development plan, which is basically a master plan. So during this course of 4 to 6 months, it is made sure that a person who is from a geography background, a person who is from an architecture background, who is an engineer, is made to come on a single page gradually, and not just pushing them to make a master plan, or just simply pushing them to make an outline development plan. Also, it is important that there could be courses which do not emphasize presentation skills that much. So even the course also takes care of that part with certain exercises where you'll be giving a research paper, and you basically like an extempore, you'll have to read that research paper, understand it to yourself, and then present that research paper in front of your class. So your presentation skills have also are also being focused in a gradual manner. So the college takes care of the fact that it will be a multidisciplinary branch, and students from various different backgrounds will be joining the course, and they need to be brought to the same page. So while it will, of course, it will not be easy starting from the very first presentation, because the moment you enter the college, you will be made sure that You will be working, the teachers will deliver the fact that you are going to be working extremely hard, and they will make sure that you will be working hard, because the very first presentation would be within a span of just a week. So during that span, you will be you'll have to interact with people who have different backgrounds than you. You'll have to work with them. Some students will have the required skill sets, some students will not have the required skill sets. So and hence the of course for those presentations could be taken, the burden for which could be taken by a few students for some presentations, while it gets gradually divided over different students. So it will definitely not be easy, but it will absolutely be worth it.
Thank you, Sami. So students or participants who are probably skeptical that, okay, I'm from an architecture background and I want to move on to planning. Is it going to be difficult? So like he said, the faculty make sure that all of you are on one platform, and eventually that is how the course is also designed. Um, so thank you, Sami. Devika, what is your take on this?
Okay, so in my batch, there are 35 students, and there are 33 architects, one geographer, and one planner. And my juniors batch also, there are 33 architects, two planners, one geographer, and one person from engineering background. So students from diverse backgrounds are coming for urban planning. And what difference which I found is, for planners who are coming from planning background, they are already familiar with the softwares. They have already done all the all the small doing master plan. They are familiar with all those things. But for us, it's really new. For a geographer, it's new. But but the faculty make sure like we are all on the same track. So so the faculties only divide us into different groups. There are like 10 aspects, and there will be like 3 to 5 students in each aspects, like transportation, land use, then communication, like that. And while preparing the master plan, it's a classwork. So whoever is interested and who wants to learn GIS and who wants to be part of making the base map, they can be a part. So like if we want to be active and if we want to learn the GIS, we can volunteer and we can learn it. Other than that, like along the journey we'll learn everything, and faculties are very supportive. Like for example, in first semester I was in sewerage group, like physical infrastructure, I was in the sewerage group. For a planner and for an engineer it will be easy, but I was an architect, so I don't know like how the sewerage network, how it functions, the drainage and all. So I was finding very difficult to learn and all, but the faculties were really supportive. Faculties explained to me like how to proceed, what are the guidelines we have to look into and all. And later on along the process I learned it, and I was really happy at the end of the semester. I was really happy because I learned it. So yeah, so and the batchmates were also really supportive. So it's a teamwork, so we can learn it.
Okay. Thank you, Devika. Muskan, is it the same for housing, planning and housing?
Yes, it's almost the same. Like it depends. It's difficult because coming from the architecture background, and it's but changing the perspective from an architect to the planner, the most important thing is the curriculum, that how SPA had made that curriculum to work. And not even in the studio, but the theory subjects as well. So we should be knowing about the planning techniques, how to work that on the ground, how to do that on the small scale projects or even on the large scale projects, for the land use, for the different subjects. And for the like first semester ODP, I was in a demographic group, so I don't know how to see the census, how to work with the census, how to project the population for the next 20 years. So that faculties helped me. Even in my batch there were some of the planners and even my group as well, so they helped me to check now how to project the projection, how to do the analysis. So that's the teamwork and that coordination with your group mates. It's very important in SP actually.
Thank you, Muskan. We'll move on to Niharika with the same question, because again, being industrial design, focusing more on design other than planning. But I'm sure even you have people from different graduation backgrounds. So
Yeah. So, how I'll just share my experience. So, hardcore architecture, I did my UG in architecture, and then I was working 3 years in architecture. So, I did not know anything, like zero in industrial design. So, how is it different from architecture? Is basically you go from a very designing a very big thing where you can miss like minute details and no one will mind it, to minute details where one will mind it. So that's very important for anyone pursuing industrial design or product design or UX/UI design. Like minute details matter a lot. So you need to like because you don't have to focus on like major details, you can easily focus on the minute details, and that's the whole process of design in this. Then how other branches, for example, engineers and any other branch that is coming in into industrial design other than architecture, uh, it's very supportive. The faculties are very supportive and they will support you throughout, and you can learn about it in the first semester. Like in the first semester they don't let you choose what you need to design. They will give us an assignment that you need to design this and you need to design that. Second semester onwards, you can choose what you want to design, because in the first semester you had an experience that ki acha ye hota hai industrial design and whatever. So yeah, that way. And faculty doesn't make it easy on you. I would not say the faculty makes it easy on you. They will literally pressurize you to design it, but that's a good thing in first semester. Second semester they're very easy. It's like you want to do it, you do it. You don't want to do it, we'll mark you accordingly. But in the first semester they're like very pressurizing and supportive. You want to discuss with them, they will discuss with you 24/7. I have literally called my faculties and picked up my call at 3 a.m. in the night, and they have discussed with me ki acha aise aise karna hai in the first semester. So it's again like it's SPA. If you want to actually work, they will support you in working. It's all about you in SPA. It's just masters, it's not UG. One thing that you need to be like conscious of, it's masters. They expect you to be on a certain level, and they expect you to be sincere on yourself. They will not force you for anything, but if you are forceful on them, they will support you 100%. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. Sharan, I would like to ask you now, since you're pursuing urban design, and for urban design, it's a prerequisite to have your bachelor's in architecture only. So, is it helpful, or how is your experience from that architecture to urban design shift?
Okay, yeah, it's kind of prerequisite to have an architectural degree. Also, architecture is also more of qualitative than quantitative. So even urban design, the basic difference between urban design and urban planning is this aspect only, where planning focuses on the quantitative aspects, and urban design focuses on the qualitative aspects. So yes, there's a difference in scale when we come from architectural background to urban design. But yes, by within some time we start grasping those things.
Okay. Thank you, Sharan. Varshini, how is BM help? I mean, how is it in BM with people from architecture background, or let's say engineering background, or what other backgrounds of graduation do you have?
Yeah, actually, here in BM, it is like we have both civil engineering and architecture. People who have pursued their bachelor's in civil engineering architecture. But the thing is that I don't think we have eligibility criteria, which includes planning. So it is basically civil and architecture. So everyone is usually on the same page because everyone is learning. It is a little different from what we actually started doing in architecture. It is basically about project management where you are doing scheduling and timing. Maybe it is a little easy for civil engineers who have already had prior knowledge on structures, maybe more than architects, but everyone is usually on the same page, and faculties are really helpful in teaching you those. And If you think it is gonna be hard or it's gonna be difficult, I don't think it is. Because we were also scared when we heard structures and designing of columns or files and all those things. But it is basically on the conceptual level, just to make you understand before managing a project. So, yeah, it is not that difficult, and faculties are willing to help you if you want to learn about anything apart from what they are teaching. If you already are on a site or you're working on something else and you want to show them and find out if it is a suitable structure for your building, or you think you want to learn something new about flat slab or anything you might want to know in structures or in the scheduling. Yeah.
Thank you, Varshini. So, just to sum up this question, I think even though you might be from a different background of graduation, it is made sure that all of you are at a same platform or same playing field before or during before you move on to the further levels of the course. So, which is really great. So, in case if any of the participants who had this doubt, I hope that is also clear. Now, okay, I think we're done with the serious questions. Moving on to the last question, that is, can you all also let us know a bit about life beyond the classroom at SPA Delhi? Overall, the extracurriculars, let's say, or otherwise, the fun part of it as well. So, Varshini, let's begin with you.
Yeah, basically here in BM it is a lot of fun. The faculties are also fun. If you visit our Instagram page, you might see last we were playing Holi before coming, before holidays started. So yeah, it is really fun, and the faculties want you to have fun along with whatever you're learning. So I think if you're not someone who's social, you'll become social coming here. I'm not the kind of person who would interact with everybody, but after coming here, like it is become pretty chill, and along with the work, because you also have group mates that you're working with, it definitely becomes like a family, and it is a lot of fun if you're willing to choose BEM. And seniors are also very supportive, and they help you through each and every process. And the first and the second years usually collaborate on events, a lot of events that we do, including conferences and all the celebrations. Yeah, BM is known to have fun if you want.
Thank you, Varshini. Sharan, how is the life beyond classroom at SPA Delhi?
Okay, so actually, especially for those who live in the hostel, it's always a play work kind of environment. And also, there are, as already told, there are several festivals that happen here. Like uh, next week only, we have a Holi celebration, uh, and kind of such events happen every kind of in every month. Except that there are several matlab, things like activities happen inter batch also, like with seniors, juniors also, fresher, farewell, and things. And at times we are given similar kind of group work also, where seniors and juniors need to do together. So it's always a work play kind of environment. Matlab, it's very much it's not monotonous.
Okay, that's nice to know for urban design. Sami,
Yet again, I think very similar answer. SP has a great um, culture in the SP hostel, with cultural events happening almost every month, along with the fest, which is coming up just exactly a week from now. Also, different sporting events happening within SPAs, within different SPAs, that is inter SPA, which happens between SPA Delhi, Bhopal, and Vijayawada. And and many such events which happens within the campus, outside the campus, which is supported by the faculties, which I don't think will happen in a lot of colleges.
Yeah. Thank you, Sami. Niharika?
Hi. So I'll share about my department. A part of our scholarship is organizing events. Events are very important in SPA. So yeah, all of these, every festival, any state is basically celebrated in SPA. So life beyond the classroom, you will get very social in SPA. It's very nice in SPA. You'll come here, you'll gain a lot of friends, real friends that I personally did not get in UG, but you'll definitely make it in masters. It's very fun in SPA. You have night studios in here, like particularly in my department, you can take, like we have taken like a whole week's night permission in SPA, and I've just stayed in SPA. So like we have mattresses and all in our department, and you sleep there and you work together. It's very nice, and you celebrate every festival in there. And yeah, I mean, you connect with a lot of friends there, make a lot of friends there, and you celebrate everything, no matter what background you're from. You just celebrate everything, south, east, north, or south. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Niharika. Muskan?
Yes, everyone have covered all the points because we celebrate in SPA. There's a culture to celebrate each and every festival of different states, and even that's it.
Okay, thank you. Devika? Devika, you're on mute. Okay, I think there's some issue at Devika's end, probably. So, coming to the last part, now before we move on to the question and answer session, I would like to thank all you guys for taking out time. I know the submissions are hectic and it's rigorous. So, I would like to thank all of you for taking out the time. Also, in the comments, I saw a lot of questions regarding IITs and the other SPs. So, for IITs, we will be having another session tomorrow at 11 a.m. And for the SPA Bhopal and Vijayawada, we will be having other few sessions. So, you will be updated about it in the respective WhatsApp groups. So, I think we'll move on to taking questions from the participants. So, yes, please type in your questions in the chat box. Also mention the department or what department question is it related to. So yes. Okay. Yashaswini has a question for Varshini. Will learning BIM help in BEM?
Yeah, definitely. It'll help in BM, but it is not a part of the interview process. BIM is basically, if you have learned to the designing portion of it, you might have a little help from it, but it is basically on the quantity takeoff side, or where you're taking the cost, the quantities. So if you are learning that, it might be helpful. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Next question is regarding SOP and interview. So we've already conducted a session. We'll share the link about it, about the same in your group later on. Sayantini has a question regarding environmental planning. Is there any current research work going on for environmental planning at SPA Delhi? If yes, can you please briefly explain about it? Sami?
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
Research work, I don't think I really get the question, but there are, since the department being SPA itself being associated to the government, it takes government projects. So as per the what particular department gets a project, so accordingly there are project associates for those different types of projects. Research work, if you're asking about the PhD, then it takes in PhD candidates as well, with respect to not with respect to departments as well, and with respect to the guides as well. So I think annually it takes in PhD candidates, the details for which can be found on the websites or from other sources.
Okay. So Sayanthini, I hope your question is answered. We'll move on to Saurav's question. How are the placement opportunities for urban planning at SPA Delhi? So Devika, would you like to address that?
Yes, so for my seniors, 94% of them got placed, and the highest package was around 12 LPA, and the average package was around 7.5 LPA. And the major recruiters were Deolite, EY, Arise, Knight Frank, CBRE, then Rajgiri, then HBSS, and all. So, like urban planning, we are covering a lot of aspects, like transport, then environment, and all. So, you can try approaching like transport companies also. So HPSS is a like majorly working on transport. So and like now also like around 5 students are recruited from our department for as a transport planner. So yeah, those are the major recruiters, and that's a like package also.
Okay. Thank you, Devika. We have another question which I think you could address, Devika. That is, what is the difference between M-Plan in urban planning and masters in urban and regional planning?
Okay, so here in SPA we have, it's like two departments. Regional planning is a separate department and urban planning is a separate department. But in I think in SPA Vijayawada and all, it's combined, masters in urban and regional planning. So regional planning, they are like dealing with a wider area, like in a region. We are dealing with majorly on the city level, urban area. We are not like planning the village area and all. But the regional planners are covering that area also, and their scope of work is in a wide range. So I think that's a major difference. But the aspects they are covering and everything is similar only, but the area is only different.
Okay. Goresh, I hope that answers your question. We have the next question regarding GATE scholars and the work assigned to them. What kind of work is it exactly? Is it very intensive, time intensive, exhaustive? So, any of you would like to address this? Or maybe Sharan, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, okay. So it depends. At times, it depends. For example, I, being a gate scholar, have been assigned works like compilation of previous semester's work and compiling it into a book format that can be published in future. So I'm currently working on this. Except this, I have been sent for as a field staff for a project also, for which we get a extra per day stipend, uh, uh, along with the monthly stipend we get. Also, there are a few like if there's any kind of conference and thing, we are sent as volunteers. So it kind at times, also we work on a lot of report making. So it actually is around 20% of your overall workload at times. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sharan. We have another question from Maria who's asking how important is work experience to get into SPA Delhi? She's saying she graduated last year and was preparing for GATE afterwards, and now she's applying for masters. So this 1 year drop, would it be an issue? So any of you would like to take this question up? Yes. Okay, maybe Sami
I
or
think I think it will depend upon the branch itself. While people from different branches like BEM or urban design, which is or even slightly housing, which is directly related to architecture, are saying that experience is not important. Being with a large number of freshers, not only being there in SPA but also being placed properly. In case of certain planning branches, it actually is not experience is absolutely not important, because ultimately what you're doing is, it is an absolute change of what you were doing earlier, an absolute change of field in itself. For example, in the case of environmental planning, so in that cases, in some cases what happens is, even though you have some experience, that experience actually might not be considered. So in case of, again, as I think the question was specific to urban planning, or no, master, it was it was masters in general, so it will depend upon the field that you will be looking for. In any case, I don't think that you should be taking a drop year specifically to study gate. You should always be involved in some kind of work, because it will be helpful in some form, if not directly, then indirectly in future.
Thank you, Sami. We'll move on to the
Can I
next
add to
question.
that
Yes, yes,
question?
sorry, sure.
Yeah, so in BM also we have few people who had taken a drop year, but I don't think it is gonna affect them in the interview process or selection process. But maybe in the future when you're getting placements, maybe you might have to answer them specifically on why you might have taken a gap year. So I think it is good if if you do some freelance work, or if you do some software learning work that you might do in the gap year, so you can show them that you have done this. So I think it will be helpful in the long run, like previously mentioned.
Okay, thank you, Arshini. Any other department has a different take? Maybe Muskan, Niharika, Sharan, any of you, or Devika?
Yeah, so for urban design, yes, in our batch also, there are some freshers, but the majority of us are at least have 2 to 3 years of experience. Drop year is certainly, I haven't, drop, if you have a drop year, you will have hard time to explain them that why it was a drop year. Either you have experience or you have directly came from bachelor's, and trend shows that now they are trying to take more experience, as in at least 3 to 4 years of experience, because it affects the thought process. They want people who have a kind of certain level of maturity in their thought process, so they are certainly looking for people who have at least 2 to 3 years 3 years of field experience in urban design especially.
Okay, thank you, Sharan. Niharika, Muskan, is it the same for your fields?
Yeah, I would like to share. When I joined, it basically was the end of COVID. So if you have a drop year in like the COVID years, it's completely fine. But in the last 1 year, I don't know what's the process for the last 1 year, but they were completely okay with having a drop year. Like I have a lot of people in my batch who had a drop year in the COVID years. So yeah, that was one start point that they gave you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Muskan, is it the same for housing?
Yes, it's almost the same, but there are some of my batchmates also. They are freshers. Even I am a fresher. I just joined after clearing my bachelor's. But yes, they'll ask you in the interview that why did you choose to do without an experience? Why did you choose masters? So they'll ask the question. So you are having the particular answer for that question, ki why you are opting directly to the masters instead of any work experience.
Okay, thank you. Devika, how was it for urban planning?
For urban planning, in my batch, there are both experienced students are there, and also freshers were also there. And during placements and internship, it's fine. Like they'll ask you, like if you have experience, they'll ask you what's your background, where you have experience and all. And for internship, for freshers also, it's fine only. And for like for SPA also, if you it will be good if you have some experience in the field, because they'll definitely ask why you're choosing urban planning. If you have a clear cut answer for that, then it's fine. Like you can explain with your experience and all. So, and fresh, there were a lot of freshers also. But if you have an answer like why you are choosing urban planning, if you're clear with it, then it's perfectly fine.
Okay, so thank you. I think, Maria, I hope that answers your doubt. Moving on to the next question. Is there GATE scholarship available for all the courses? Yes. Uh, Only I would like to ask Niharika, how is it for industrial design? Because you need a seed score, is what I'm assuming, or that is given more importance. So,
No, that is not given not that much importance. Of course, again, I'll repeat myself. You'll get a scholarship and you get a stipend every month if you have a seed or gate scholarship score. But I have like 4 5 people in my batch who do not have anything. So it's not like you're not getting placed into SPA because you do not have a seed or a gate score. You'll definitely get into SPA, but you'll not have a stipend because of that. So your stipend covers like beyond your fees that you pay. So that's one thing, but I am not demotivating the people who do not have a seed gate score. So you will still get into it. Yeah.
so thank you, Niharika. We have the next question for you only. Do we really need good sketching skills for industrial design?
Oh, no, not at all. I have horrible sketching skills, but the point is, I sketch very well on like my iPad. Procreate is the software that I sketch on. So, but again, in the first semester, I think they give you assignments where you are allowed to develop your your sketching skills, and they do not judge you very harshly for it. So even if you do not have very good sketching skills, I think you will learn that in your first semester. Second semester onwards, definitely you need to have your sketching skills online. But again, I do not sketch very well with hand. So because I sketched very well with my Procreate, so I think I am only representing my concepts on my like on digital sheets. So even if not your iPad or Procreate, even if you can represent it digitally, it's completely fine as long as you're not using AI to generate your ideas, because AI is not really effective right now. It's just like you give a prompt and it generates something, but it's not your idea particularly. So as long as you can generate your idea in any medium in second semester onwards, because first semester they anyway motivate you to like do sketching and whatever, and even if you can't do it, they will not judge you for it. Second semester onwards is where it gets difficult a little bit. Um, so yeah, I don't think you need to have any skills beyond an architecture in first semester. I think if you're an architect, I'm sorry. I think if you're an architect in the first semester and you continue being that in your first semester, I think the faculties basically will guide you throughout that and will judge you on basis of that. Second semester onwards, you will know what to do because I knew what to do. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. So, Vaibhav, I hope that gives you a clearer picture. Next question is from Urnaba. Sharan, this is for you. How is landscape and urban design different? As a UD student, what kind of thesis domain have you worked on or are planning to work on? Are projects like canal rejuvenation or streetscape in UD, or do they fall under the domain of landscape? And there are a
Okay,
few more questions, so I'll go after you address this one.
yeah, okay. Landscape is actually a component that comes within urban design scope, and there are overlaps between urban design, landscape design, and architectural conservation, because all these things some is about working somewhere between multiple built up buildings, maybe. Okay, so there would be overlaps, but in urban design, for example, in our last semester work, we were working along a drain which is Najafgarh in Delhi. For the first semester, Urban Design Studio worked on that spot. We were majorly looking on the zones which were already like we worked on GT Binagar. There's a colony with different kind of housing morphology and things. Whereas in the second semester, landscape students worked along the same lines of Najafgarh drain, where they developed the periphery of the Najafgarh drain. So you understand, we were kind of overlapping, but we took up different components within a built environment. Whereas we were working on the streetscape, the creating synergy between different communities. Their part was kind of working on the ecological aspect along the Najafgarh drain. So through this, you may get a little bit of idea. Yes, there are overlaps at
Okay.
times.
We have a continued question. Is it possible to go for conservation after doing masters in urban design? And how and where do these two merge?
Okay. Yes, there is a possibility of doing masters in conservation after doing landscape and vice versa. And yes, there are examples in our faculties also who have done masters in landscape and then PG, sorry, PhD in conservation. For example, if we are working in some historic present, like redevelopment of some historic present, maybe you take up examples of any present along Ganges, maybe some present along Varanasi Ghats. So it has a component where you are okay. Maybe you can take up the Kashi Vishwanath corridor project. It was a urban design project, but there were parts where they have conserved ghats like Lalita Ghat and things. So there was a component of conservation. There were components of urban design, and also there was a part of landscape, because landscape not only works on both hardscape and softscape. So there in practical field everything kinds of overlaps. So you cannot say that yes, I'm only doing landscape or urban design. For example, similar there are several cases like the Central Vista you take, or even the yes kind of projects. Everything has both components.
Okay. And we have a follow-up question that if they want to join NIUA, so does a UD student have some leverage over the other branches students when it comes to joining NIUA?
Yes, for NIUF especially, the urban design people with urban design degree have a leverage, because major domain for NIU is also development and design. And several of our seniors have already are working or have previously worked with NIUA in internships and jobs also.
Okay. So thank you, Sharan. I hope Purnabha, all your questions are answered. Next one is for Varshini. What is the rank that I would require to get admission into for BEM, and what is the placement package or the
Yeah,
opportunities?
so I don't think there is any minimum range that is required to get into BM. This is, I think it is basically just for the scholarship. And there are students who have not given their GATE exam and still got selected to BM. So it is not really a necessity to have a minimum rank range, but it is better to have a good rank. Uh, the interview process and the test that they keep are the basic things, including the SOP that we write. Uh, so yeah, it is not needed.
Okay, thank you, Varshini. Next question is from Pratyusha, who's which I think all of you can also address, but more towards environment. So saying that in the portfolio, if I don't have a project related to environment, but I plan to pursue environmental planning, is that okay? And what are the chances for a non-GATE, non-experienced student of getting into SPA Delhi? So I think all of them have already mentioned this, that you don't really require a GATE score or experience with respect to getting into SPA Delhi. Of course, it varies from different department to department, and it's more about your skill sets and how you uh, give the interview and your portfolio, etc. And Sami, I would like you to address this question. What is the demand of environmental planning in the present market today?
I think that's a really important question that can be addressed while our immediate seniors or our seniors a few years ago, or from the batches from the very starting of the environmental planning, which was 1990, have enjoyed great placements and are doing fairly well. But over the course of time, it has seen, even though the environmental aspects are like as in the aspects which are covered in this course are extremely important and are gaining more and more traction over the course globally. But the recent graduates or even our batch are sometimes might find it difficult to get placed. The main reason is, as I think Devika already mentioned, that urban planning or even sometimes transport planning covers certain different aspects of environmental environment to it. While they might not even have the basic knowledge of environment, certain companies, because of the lack of understanding of what exactly is environmental planning, might sometimes tend to oversee what the capabilities of an environmental planning graduate. This is something that some of the seniors or some of the existing batchmates, while the existing our placement cell is like the students are getting placed, and 40%, even though it's still March, 40% of the students have been placed. But sometimes student might find it difficulty with, or rather make it frustrating, because the jobs which are intended to be for environmental planners could be taken up by urban planners or even transportation planners, even though they have absolutely no clue as to what exactly needs to be done in those particular types of jobs.
Okay. Pratyusha, I hope that answers your query. Thank you, Sami. And also, Pratyusha, your next question with respect to the details of portfolio and etc. So that we've already covered in another session. The link has been shared with you already. Moving on to the next question. Okay. With GATE score stipend, can I get other scholarship also if I'm eligible? Or will they cancel it? So, does any of you have any idea on this?
Yeah, along with GATE, you can't take any other scholarship.
Okay. So, thank you, Sharan.
Uh,
Anu, oh yes, sorry.
I would like to share, if you don't have any GATE or SEED scholarship, my batchmates basically have applied for a lot of scholarships and have gotten it also. So if you do not have a scholarship with SPA, you will get any other that you are designing for.
Okay. So, I think that's an important point that you mentioned, Niharika. So, thank you. Anup, we will be having other sessions for SPA Bhopal and Vijayawada respectively. Rahul, this question has already been answered between the difference of urban and regional planning. Uh, okay, can urban design students work in a landscape firm and gain experience that way? Sharan?
Yeah, there are firms which take both the disciplines. Like OSS Design is a firm in Delhi, which is one of the best urban and landscape design firm. They take people of both the disciplines and kind of have a interdisciplinary work. So yes.
Okay, thank you. Which planning course has a good placement? So, any of you from the planning department would like to answer that? Yes, Muskan, Sami, or Devika?
I think with the recent government demand, the government project which are more inclined towards enhancing the transport planners over the past years have seen fairly ease with the planning process.
Okay. So, thank you. Regarding the interview queries, we will be having a separate session for the interviews. So, after 27th of March, because that is later on, you have your interview, etc. So, yes. Can one opt for urban design after completing bachelor's in planning. No, you need a degree in architecture. So I think with that we come to an end for our questions. So thank you, Muskan, Niharika, Devika, Sami, Sharan, uh, Varshini, for taking out time, 2 hours on a weekend, Saturday. I know. So thank you. It was really, really helpful. And I hope all the participants have gained or answers to their questions, have some more clarity of thought with respect to the application. So thank you and good night. See you all tomorrow for the next session at 11 a.m. Thank you, everyone.